Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Shepherd's Journal. Today I will talk about the mineral cycle, um, how it, what affects the mineral cycle, a little bit how it works and how we could maybe improve it. So how do plants uptake the minerals from the soil? Well, it's with the help of microbes. The microbes, they turn the minerals into a form that a plant can assimilate. And in exchange for that, the plant exudates carbon-rich material that again feeds the microbes. So it's like a give and take relationship. The microbes, they take food from the plant, and the plant takes food from the microbes. So it's the same in our body. We as well, we take food from the microbes, and the microbes, they take food from us. So it's always a give and take relationship between us and the microbes, and we should flourish it. We should nourish them so they can nourish us. So how do we assess if there is a good mineral cycle in our soil? So what we should look at is how much litter there is on the soil, and if this litter is decomposing quite quickly, or not at all, or fairly at a slow rate. Because if it's decomposing quickly, that means there are a lot of microbes in your soil that decompose the litter. So that means that your mineral cycle is quite good. But if it doesn't decompose at all, it just stands there. That means there are not a lot of microbes in your soil that work to decompose. So that's a factor to improve then. So to promote the mineral cycle, we need to improve the root mass of a plant, because around the root mass of the plant there are all the microbes lingering around and feeding the root, feeding the plant, all the minerals that it needs to survive. So how do we promote the root growth? It's with not grazing it too severely. If we take off too many leaves, the plant will take all the energy from the roots, which will then die, to promote new leaves to grow. So we should try to not to graze too severely, but to leave maybe 50%, maybe even more. The more the better, of leaves, so the root mass doesn't suffer too much. So then again, why would we need ruminants to regenerate the soil, especially in environments where there's not a lot of rainfall? Well, that's because the ruminants, they have the microbes in their gut. In another environment like a desert, so in an environment where there's not a lot of rainfall, annual rainfall, there are not a lot of microbes in the soil to decompose that material. So there, the ruminants come into play. They are the decomposers of the dead material. So, yeah, this little girl, she decomposes that plant material and puts it back into the ground. So it's quite important that we don't leave out the ruminants when we want to regenerate our soil, especially when we live in dry regions. In a tropical forest, there are so many microbes in the soil that the mineral circle or everything else just works without disruption. So it just sustains itself if we don't disrupt it ourselves. So a tropical rainforest would just get better and better when we do nothing. But a savanna or a desert will just get worse and worse when we do nothing, or when the ruminants, in this case, won't do anything, or will just be left out of the picture. So I guess what I'm trying to say is look at the whole picture. Don't forget the ruminants, or don't forget the microbes. Everything in nature functions as in whole, so if we leave something out, it doesn't function anymore. So in practical, what I'm trying to do is I have about 1,200 sheep here, and what I'm trying to do is I try to keep them as close together as I can. For the moment I have 3 dogs working here. Mom, my Australian Shepherd, a lot of impact on the sheep, and 2 Kelpie dogs. One of them is called Duke, that I'm renting from a friend, and the other one is Lou. You can see him over there. This is Lou, the sheepdog of my girlfriend. And so the 4 of us are trying to keep the sheep together as closely as we can to get as much of an impact on the land as we can. So we get the grass down not too short. We try to keep the length up a bit because the growth starts and we don't want to graze too much, but we want to have a lot of feces and urine to in one place to get more microbes in the soil. So I'll try to keep them bunched up and keep them moving. So I won't graze too severely and promote the growth of, or the input to the soil of the microbes. And then afterwards I try not to come back to this place after full recovery has occurred. So yeah, I'll try to do that. That's the plan. Stick to it and it'll work. Okay, so this is it for today. Hope we've all learned a bit. Last thing, I will show you the ground where I have been grazing today. I'm not very happy, but it's a start. So here you go. There are some plants that are severely grazed, like this one. We don't see a lot of feces on the ground. We see some plant material has been trampled, so it's not too bad. Overall, there's still leaves left, so it's not too severely grazed. Yeah, what I think is that I think it's better to graze when the sward is high. I came too early, so the sward was too low, was not high enough. So the sheep, they graze severely too quickly, and so I can't keep them as much in one place as I would like to. So there's not as much feces on the ground as I would like there to be. But I think slowly, if I stop grazing severely, slowly the plants will develop, slowly the root mass will grow, and with time I can graze the sward higher and higher, and it will get better and better. Okay, so thanks for watching and see you next week. Bye.